Good day, TNT. Good day. Another beautiful day. Long day, boy. Long day yesterday. Yeah. Tired, no ass today, boy. All kind of thing I had to do yesterday. Concrete and but now. Right. Tired, boy. I had to wait here because I had thing going on here, so I had to wait till the evening, and by the time I done, oh good, it was late, huh? Gone to shower there, so water cut off. We have a bucket, like a big oil, almost like a oil drum, eh? Just keep it full with water. They use that and yes, wash dishes and thing. It has something here called a peeler. It's like an outside sink, like a basin, like a big concrete basin. I use that to wash dishes and thing, eh? So I have one over there in the courtyard right there. So partner, I had to bathe. I say, you know what? It's dark now, and you can't see nothing. You can't see your hand in front of your face. I say, I'm going to bathe right here, so right in the courtyard there, so and I bathe right there. I see, yeah, so I take a bucket and a soap. And you know how we do it, eh? Beat up and thing. I had to fix this, fix that. But now the time I done, I was so tired. But still a blessed day. Still lucky to have it. Still lucky to have it. Fortunate. Like I tell all you, every day the Lord Father gave is a blessed day. Good, bad, or indifferent is a blessed day. So take a second out your day and give thanks. Show some gratitude for the day the Lord Father gave. Because He gave it, and He had to give it. Where to start? Where we talk, yes? There we talk. Couple things I want to talk about. Like I talk about Miss New Sari, Miss Freed Walk, the only woman in Trinidad and Tobago who have a high paying job, and she don't work one blasted day. She kiss me ass life. That woman never at work, you know. Always home, always busy. But we are seeing she doing nothing. But she working, man. Go talk about she. We got to talk about what people was reporting, especially Anne. Darling, thank you. Thank you. Because I was watching it. I was watching the flight report last night. So, we bring it up. So, Anne, thank you very much, sweetheart. But anyway, we got to talk about that. And Rowley. Do an interview on CNC 3 TV. CNC 3T TV. Do an interview, and he was talking about the state of the government, the state of the country, and the same thing I tell him earlier is what he reiterated. We go break down a couple of that. A couple things I want to touch on, eh? Couple things. So let me start with that first. Now he do an interview. He was speaking about different things. And one thing he brought up was the SOFA agreement, the Status of Forces agreement. That Ms. Kamala and the United States using right now to put boots on the ground. Now everybody want to say that it was the PNM that put that there. So America come. No. I tell all you, it was Manning that put that forth. Kamala ratified the agreement. PNM make amendments to the agreement. And now Kamala using that same agreement. But nowhere, I read it, nowhere does it say that America have full authority to come in and do what they want when they want without permission. That is a lie. So he was right on that, 100%. He was right. I tell all of them using this war on drugs as a scapegoat for America to get their hands on oil. You see that in a roundabout way. But let we unpack some of the things he said that is fact. Not hyperbole. Any man wasn't lying. I see real thing about him, but you know what? I had to give him credit. He was truthful for the most part. He was truthful. Now he leave out a couple things there, but he was truthful. So I will give him credit for that, 100%. I will give the man credit for that. But by no means am I saying back and saying that they are not responsible for the crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Me is saying that because it was under their watch between 2018 and 2025 when crime skyrocketed in Trinidad and Tobago to an unprecedented level. Never seen before. It was under their watch. They were there. And them and one asked to fix it. You also had Petronin, you had this, you had that scandal. And then they want to privatize the LNG so they could sell it. All kind of things. Billions of dollars gone misappropriated under their watch. So he is not faultless. But I will give him credit because I see some things that he speaks the truth, which means he know the truth, which means he know what was going on, which makes their actions as government when they were there even more suspicious, because you damn well know what was going on, but you did nothing. So let me unpack a couple things that he talked about I want to touch on. Number one, energy. Okay, let me talk about energy. Trinidad is reliant on oil. Period. You had a government and previous government saying we need to diversify, we need to look at different means. But if you is a master mechanic, that is your profession, that is your trade, you are a master mechanic, and you known for that, you build a business around that, and you're successful and thriving and expanding. Why you go listen to some other fella down the road who have a roti shop and tell you, hey man, you had to do roti, you know. You have to do roti. You have to diversify, do roti. Don't do this mechanic, man, everything go be self-driving. You don't need that. Go do roti. You have to be one blasted. You have to be dotish to an unprecedented level. If that is what we are known for, and that is what we have, we secure what we have, make it available to our citizens. Stop shipping oil and start shipping a finished product at market price. But everything in Trinidad is reliant on gas, especially energy, which is true. All electricity and things come from that. Now they cut back production because under the PNM, UNC and PNM, both of them, production was cut down. Production wasn't increased. So like we say the UNC started when Miss Hibernation, Miss New Sari was there. I think that was before bat signal was there too. She ain't get the bat signal yet. But before them, let me see, Miss Kamla was there with Manning. They started it. Now, down to next to nothing. We can't even produce enough oil just to support the electricity grid in Trinidad and Tobago. And for Kamla to she blast it out and say, we don't need Venezuela oil. Yes, madam, you do. Because without Venezuela, the blasted country go collapse. You have no grid. There's electricity. No. So they talk about that. Well, that is a fact. But how they stated was not a fact, because PNM was responsible as well. Okay. But one major thing he bring up was these extrajudicial killings. And what he said, this is 100% true. Almost 100 people, 76 and counting, almost 100 people killed in the water. The United States claimed that all of them was drug dealer, but yet they could identify none but one. And one man who get identified, one of them who was identified by the family and people in the region and the government of Colombia as a fisherman. But they say they are drug dealers, but they provide no evidence. They can't even identify who they are, but they're drug dealers. We even mentioned, they show them pictures of drugs on a boat. These are the drugs. And those drugs came from a seizure in Portugal. I tell all you about that. I tell all you that. They say the same thing. They're showing all your picture of drugs and thing on boat. But them and telling all you and showing all you where them boat originated from and where they are. They say they're in international waters. But even as I stated before, international law and maritime law prohibits their actions, especially under UN law. They cannot do that. That is illegal. That is murder. It doesn't matter what you claim they do or they have done. They must face due process. That is the law. Now, I told all you, Donald Trump come in and classify all these narcotics groups as terrorists. Why? Because it justifies military action against them. So they could justify their actions before Congress and before the UN. But even with that, it makes it illegal because there are rules of engagement as outlined by the Geneva Convention, which they are not following. So it is illegal. Trinidad and Tobago stance and CARICOM stance has always been, we go talk. We go sit down, we go talk, and we will work this out. Before, when Trump was there, before he get together with Europe and Canada to force a regime change in Venezuela, because Maduro is not the official president. I tell all you about that. And I tell all you, they had a man set aside there who they want to put in place. Why? So that America could get their hands on the oil. The oil. Donald Trump making promises to all these nations, buy your oil and everything from we. But you ain't had nothing to sell. Where you going to get? Another reason why they don't want them there, because Venezuela circumvent their sanctions to save the blasted country. It was American sanctions that further impoverished those people while pointing the finger at Maduro. They lifted sanctions against them and Cuba. They lifted sanctions. And then Trump come back and impose stricter sanctions than before. And now you want to blame them when they turn around and say, we're not dealing with you, we'll go somewhere else. Nobody in the world could deal with you except we. They come to China. China helping them. Russia helping them. All these different nations coming and helping them. What do you expect them to do? Let the people starve? If the government come and tell you, you can't shop in no shop in your town. You can't go anywhere here. You can't shop nowhere here. We forbid you to shop from any grocery store, any retail. You can't go nowhere. You can't shop nowhere here. We forbid it. If you see you there, we go put you in jail. And you can't grow your own food. Why? Because you need fertilizer. You think you have to go and get it in the shop. Where you going and get? And then you say, you know what they ask with you? I go a tongue over so. I going over there so. I go down there go and I go get one name. I go to Rim and get what I need. I go to Shagonas. I go Sangwa. I go Sandy Grande. I go somewhere else and get. And then they come and say, hey, no, you can't go there either, you know. You can't go there. But you tell me just here. Yeah, but we don't like them there so. So you can't go there because we are like them. So you supposed to watch your family starve for their pride and ego. Miss Kamala come out and open up, she blasted mouth. Venezuela is responsible for all the crime in Trinidad and Tobago. It's the Venezuelan gangs. Okay? I look it up. There's no Venezuelan gang on any police database in Trinidad and Tobago. Not one. 95% of all murders and crime committed in Trinidad and Tobago is by local gangs that they are well aware of. Not Venezuelan. The problem they are having with Venezuela, not even drug trafficking. Not even drug trafficking. Not that. Because less than 3% of all the cocaine on the planet coming through Venezuela. Less than 3%. Where the guns coming from in Trinidad? Where they coming from? All of them coming from America. They may come from Venezuela, you know. America. All of them are shipping cargo ships and stuff that are being brought in and shipping containers. They may come in on blasted fishing boat. But it's war on drugs. Almost 100 people get murdered. You can't provide evidence for one. You cannot even identify who was murdered. Nor any connection to anything they claim. But the problem is the drugs coming from Venezuela. Narco-terrorists. Maduro is a narco-terrorist. I don't like Maduro. He is not a good man and he is not good for the welfare of his nation. Now, one thing I agree with is his stance on the resources of the nation. Keep it for the country. I agree with that. 100% I agree with that. But most of his policies and stuff are there to benefit he. Nobody else. He no different than the blasted government in Trinidad and Tobago now. Except he is actually do a job. Miss Kamala don't do one blasted thing. It raining, she stay home. The sun too hot, she staying home. She's sorry, dirty. You know what, I have a little spot on my sari. I can't come to work, you know. I have to stay home. The construction crew to apply that 10 pound of plaster on your face. If they show up late, you know what, my makeup crew ain't here yet, so I can't come to work, you know. We have to stay home. I go work from home. I walk in. Look, I have a new cell phone. You see it? You like my cell phone? I have a new cell phone. I use this to work, you know. Yeah, I could work from that. You will have the government of Trinidad and Tobago saying they know something is imminent, but they're not saying that. Blast it. You have America, a massive armada out of our coast for some kiss-me-ass drugs. When the Coast Guard in Miami does seize almost every single drug vessel coming into Miami off the shores, every single one, they take the drugs, they admit it into evidence, they arrest every person and put them in jail. in Miami. They would not dare do what they are doing in Trinidad. No. In America. But yet, Maduro's a drug trafficker. Cartel de los Soles. I look into that up and down and left and right, and no such cartel exists anywhere. I look into Trinidad Ragua is causing a drug problem in Trinidad. Trinidad Ragua gangs and Trinidad Ragua. This is not a problem in Trinidad. It's local gangs causing the problem. 95%. The problem they are having with Venezuela, the biggest problem they are having is small-time drug trafficking. Yes, small-time drug trafficking. And prostitution. That is what they have. That is the problem. So you have the government pointing the finger, stating this, stating that, tell you nothing going to happen. You have Sobers Beach, the bat signal coming out, there's everything. That is conjecture. That is conjecture. No, that is a fact. Conjecture. The man read a dictionary, he learned in Big Wood. But if that was the case, and the military is operating in Trinidad and Tobago, and under the Status of Forces Agreement, they must have permission from the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Where's the conjecture? Where? I still waited. You destroy the country. You have a prime minister there, Miss New Sari, Miss hiding prime minister because she don't work one blasted day of she life. She will only show up for a photo opportunity. And then when she there, she kissing Donald Trump bottom. The man went on TV and say, Venezuela, they dumped 25 million people from insane asylums and prisons into our country. That is a lie. That is a blasted lie. Yes, a big portion came in. Big portion of criminals came in, absolutely. But the vast majority who were there were coming there to escape what they were living in. And it was the American government that told them to come. It was the American government that was offering them money and aid. It was the American government that said, come in, as well as Trinidad and Tobago. As well. Because when Kamala was there, she met with Obama and she said, open the borders and come in. Let them come. That almost destroy the economy, because you have an influx of people that come into the country which we cannot support. You can't even support the people there, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. No. But you want to bring people in. You started it. Crime increased under the PNM, and they want to blame the UNC when it was under your watch where crime increased. UNC and fought less, but Olia was there. Olia was there. Like I have a child. They tell him, don't eat the biscuit, don't touch the biscuit, you know. Leave it there so. You come here, chocolate and thing all over your face, and you see biscuit in his shirt, and you ask him, you eat the biscuit? But he gave it to me. He told me I could have it. He gave me the biscuit. He put it in your mouth and feed you too. Don't cast blame, because you are not faultless. Trinidad and Tobago is well aware of the military actions being conducted in Trinidad and Tobago right now. Illegal military action that is being conducted against the government of Venezuela. I don't like Maduro, and I don't think he is good for his nation. But that is not my country. That is not my decision. I can't tell them what to do with their country. That is their stance. Government should be there to have talks and negotiations for a beneficial solution for both nations. For Kamala to come out of the open, she kiss me ass mouth and say Trinidad don't need Venezuela gas. Madam, that is the biggest lie in history. We don't produce enough oil right now for Trinidad and Tobago. We ain't talking about the car. We're just talking about the grid. They don't produce enough now. Power going down all the time, everywhere. But we don't need it. Because what we have, all you sell to Shell, BP, and ExxonMobil. You give it away and hope that they take your food and cook in your house, on your stove, using your pot, and you're lucky to go get a spoon and say, here, try this, taste that. It tasting good, it tasty, all right. And take the pot and walk out. And you pay for the food. Because you will have to reimburse them for every blasted dollar they have spent locating the oil. You will pay for it. No. The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago will pay for it. 5 months, $1 billion US gone missing. Just so. No receipt. But you want to point the finger at P&M. You had the brass to sit down there. No, you ain't sitting down. You had the brass to talk from your blasted cell phone in the bat cave with the bat signal and say, nothing is going on. Really, madam? Okay, let's see how far nothing is going on. Venezuela have iskander missiles. Let me tell you what an iskander missile is. It is a hypersonic missile that could travel above Mach 7. And it can defer mid-flight. It can reroute. It can avoid incoming missiles. It can avoid radar and move around while it's flying at hypersonic speed. It is also a multi-unit platform, meaning it can carry an EMP. It can carry a conventional warhead. It can carry cluster bombs. And it can carry a thermonuclear warhead. Nothing to worry about. Nothing. America is conducting a war from Trinidad and Tobago soil. Make no mistake, this is a war. And the only reason America want to talk now is because Russia and China, Iran, Colombia, oh, by the way, Mr. Conjecture, Ecuador now involved. I told you that. Ecuador, they just had a vote. They voted with the citizens of the country. They counted 70% of the ballots and they're still counting. At 70% of all the ballots in the country counted, 67% of the nation want America out of the country and they don't want them conducting any military actions from inside Ecuador. And they're going to be involved with Venezuela. I tell you, once you mess with one of them, you go deal with all. And now they're talking about Cuba too. Cuba. This is the position you put Trinidad and Tobago in, madam. You did. Because you want to kiss Donald Trump fat backside because you believe they're going to come there to help save our sovereignty. That is your blasted job, not his. That is your job. But you had to work in order to do a job. And you were doing one ass except staying home. None of all you. How all you getting paid big money and none of all you do work? Nobody. You damn well know what is going on. You think they name it Operation Southern Spear because it's nice and fancy and it's song ain't nice? That's a war operation. You think they're in the Trinidad and Tobago. You telling the citizens they are on our soil for a training mission. You feel that blasted dotish. They are conducting operations. There's B-52s flying over Trinidad and Tobago. I watched the reports last night. I watched the flight records last night. As well as Reaper drones flying over Trinidad and Tobago and doing surveillance over Trinidad and Tobago. And the massive gun plane flying over Trinidad and Tobago. Even the former Prime Minister say the LNG and the oil will be the first target, just as I tell all you. Also, he mentioned, what happens during a cyber attack. China yesterday used AI to launch a simulated cyber attack, and they would bring down the entire grid from the United States all the way through. Cripple every nation. And God forbid those who have nuclear energy. Using a nuclear reactor, it will bring that down and the core will start to overheat and melt down and turn into a blasted Chernobyl and Fukushima. But nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. Miss Nusari is here. You have nothing to say, Miss Bootleg Hema Malini. You want to go and talk. We support America 100%. We support America. America don't do a blasted thing for nobody but itself. They are single-handedly destroying nation. America don't care about their own citizens. They don't care about them. You think they care about you. They want the country. They may want you. They will do to Trinidad what they do to Puerto Rico. They will do to Trinidad what they do to blasted Hawaii. And tell all the Trinidadians, look at ticket, you are a citizen now. Go to America, live in America, land of the free. Gang culture started in America. America started. And you want to blame Venezuela. You want to see them shipping the drugs when less than 3% come from there. You want to point the blasted finger at Colombia when he's the only president in recent history in Colombia that is actually doing something to fight the drugs in the country. You want to point the finger. You go point the finger next at Ecuador, eh? When the president they have there right now is combating drugs. And he is dismantling drugs in his country. But you go blame he next. And then you go to Cuba and say them Cubans and them is the problem. Drugs. Narco-terrorists. But Donald Trump invite an actual blasted terrorist into the White House. Shaky hand, give him a blasted cologne and tell him this is the best fragrance in the world. Smell that, smells so nice, eh? Let the man go play basketball in the kiss-me-ass White House. An actual terrorist. But Maduro's a terrorist. You have America flying these blasted plane and thing. They may equip with roti and pastel and doubles and conkles. Nah, it's bomb and thing they fly in there. Donald Trump said he gave the green light for a kill order on Maduro. Maduro's going on TV, Venezuelan TV, and tell them, we need peace talks. We need peace. We don't want war. Why you feel? Because he afraid? He frightened. He frightened. Because he said the first bomb that is dropped, Trinidad and Tobago, will be seen as combatants. And they will attack the country. So did Russia and China and Colombia and others. If America having a problem with 6 million South American Latinos in America right now, the first bomb that dropped, America will erupt into war, civil war in their own country. Trump is not there for peace. The man is there for war. He talking about making housing affordable for people, but he implement a 50-year mortgage, not to help people, but to save blasted BlackRock from bankruptcy. That is why. But he's there for the people. Anybody that go against him, even in his own party, the man will go and bad talk him, go social media and think, bad talk him, this person nasty, this person this. Everybody treat me bad. Everybody treat me bad. No, you take advantage of everybody on the blasted planet, because the fact remains, if it was not for the resources of the nations of this world, America would not exist. If it wasn't for the Chinese and Africans and Irish and Italians and the Latinos, you would not have a country, because they created your infrastructure. They built your railroads. They built your nations. Their blood, sweat, and equity, not even counting what the Caribbean had to go through just for America. We're even talking about all the death and destruction that went from one part of Latin America all the way through the blasted Caribbean, so America could get their hands on resources to build their gluttonous lifestyle. And then you want to say, greatest nation in the world, when you offer nothing except entertainment and war. They want to talk about the health care. You could go to Cuba and get cheap drugs, cheaper than you're buying in America. Pennies on the dollar. You could go there and see a doctor and he will actually help you. You will be better. You could go anywhere in Latin America, go see a dentist, and they go fix you up. Cheaper. You could get help. Go get help there. All the drug, we done advancements in drugs and stuff, yeah, because all they want to poison people. Who come out with the COVID vaccine? Who push it? Wasn't Biden, you know. Go back and look. Who pushed it? The drug administration say they did not want to release it. They need 2 years of testing. We are not releasing anything. We need to test it. It's Donald Trump came out with the right to try law. The right to try bill. And he forced out the COVID vaccine. Donald Trump. He came out and said they didn't want to release it. I made them release it. And we're going to make it available to ship to the world. He said that. 50 million deaths and counting because of the vaccine. He did that. That man murdered his own people. And you think he give a shit? His actions caused the death of American citizens. That makes him partially responsible. No, that makes him, that he has responsibility in that. He has a part to do with that because they weren't going to release it. He forced the release. That caused the death of millions of Americans. Nobody say anything. No, he's a man of peace. He don't care about his own people. But he care about you. He care about Trinidadians. While you are single-handedly handing away everything else. You're giving it away. You're selling out we nation. And you're lying. You're hiding your blasted fat ass inside your bat cave. You don't want to come out and tell nobody nothing. When war is looming. And the first shot fired will cause massive bloodshed. Needlessly. For oil. For oil. You will sacrifice everybody's life for oil. You that greedy? Or you that dangerous? You allowing America to murder, led by Donald Trump, to murder people in our waters and claiming it is narcotics and drugs and gangs when you damn well know is not the Venezuelan causing the problem in the country, but the local gangs. You damn well know that. But you had nothing to say. Nothing. Blame the Venezuelan. You starting to ship all them Venezuelan back to Venezuela. Why? Because America tell you to. That's the United States of Trinidad and Tobago? Or is that the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago? But like I said before, when foreign nations control your resources, they control your economy. When they control your economy, they control your nation. All you have is a flag and a blasted anthem. And now Venezuela have iskander missiles. And you feel they wouldn't use it. China testing the AI hacking capabilities. And they have an embassy in Trinidad, 39 Alexander Street. You feel they wouldn't bring down the whole grid. Russia parked the spy ship 15 miles off the coast of Hawaii, one of the largest U.S. naval bases. And they may see one ass until they was there. They didn't know. But America gonna stop them. America have almost 100 fighter jets and other planes right off our coast. Nothing to fear. B-52 bombers flying over Trinidad and Tobago, and they flew there last night after 9, along with Reaper drones, while America was conducting operations in Trinidad and Tobago, madam. Military operations. Nothing to fear. All they had no blasted weapon. All your weapons older than what they have in Venezuela. But you're going to war. You are going to take your fat, lazy ass and go there and fight nobody. Miss $500,000 roti. Miss new sari. Miss Maybelline. Miss flying carpet. But you go send Trinidadians and them to go dead for you? You want to blame Venezuela for all the nastiness in we country that you and the previous government did nothing about? You blaming them. When Venezuela is the only reason Trinidad and Tobago is still afloat. And that is not hyperbole, madam. That is a fact. Because without Venezuela, it would have no blasted electricity in the country. And without Latin America, you would have no food. Because all the resources you give away. You give away to Switzerland. You give it away to Canada. You give it away to America. You give it away to England. Leaving us with nothing. And our brothers and sisters in Trinidad and Tobago will be used as cannon fodder for the war machine America. So that they can come in and claim the resources for their blasted self. While their people become fat and lazy off of our blood and sweat. And you still have nothing to say. You want the blasted bat signal and Mr. Steroid.
This is normal. This is normal. We always do this. There is no normal training exercise. This is nothing different. I went through this. We did this.
All you. The first blow that is struck by Venezuela, madam, you should be held responsible. And you should face charges by the ICC. Because what you are doing is breaking UN law. And you want to be on the UN Security Council? You? When the same UN and America was going after Trinidad and Tobago for the police killing people, extrajudicial killings, the police murdering people. They was coming after human rights violation. And you were saying one ass. Not all you. But you were complicit in the death of almost 100 individuals in international and Caribbean waters, madam. Because it breaks both maritime international law as well as UN law. And under the Geneva Convention, laws of engagement, that they broke as well. And they must declare it with Trinidad. Why? Because they were porting in Trinidad and Tobago. So you damn well know, Mr. Conjecture, Miss New Sari, you blasted no. It's a real piece of nastiness. Nastiness. There was a lot of truth to what Rowley say. But by no means is he faultless, because his government turned a blind, blasted eye when crime was skyrocketing and they were embezzling money. They do that. They do that. None of you are faultless. Lord Father, grant me the means. If you only grant me the means. You see my face. Standing opposing you. And me running with P&M. I will run as an independent. Because both all is the same, both all you cut from the same blasted cloth. Both of all you. You are selling our nation. and selling the lives of everybody in the Caribbean. And I have a question for you, madam. What is the price? What is the cost per life that you just sold them for? What price? What price you sell them for? I bet you $500,000, that's for damn sure. I bet you $1 billion that you just laundered. Your government misappropriated. No accountability for that money. People are starving in the country. They can't afford food. You know people in Trinidad without electricity? You know people in Trinidad without running water? You know how much children go to school? If they can afford to go to school. Without food, without clothes, without proper clothing, without book bag and books and things, they don't have that. But you have money for $500,000 and roti. Because God forbid you bless your hand making a roti. You don't like to work. You never at work. You don't show up. But you go fly your blasted ass on your magic carpet all the way to America to go kiss Donald Trump bottom on the blasted war machine. While they are responsible for the death of their own people and people in the Caribbean as well. Because like I said, Donald Trump released the vaccine, not Biden. So all the deaths attributed to that vaccine was on him. He released it. They didn't. And they murdering people in our water under the lie of narco-terrorism, knowing damn well that it had no Venezuelan gang in Trinidad and Tobago. It's all local gangs. And the drugs that they claiming, less than 3% of cocaine coming into the world is going through Venezuela. Less than 3%. The vast majority are being shipped in containers through Guyana and Suriname. The 3 top drug-producing nations in the planet: Mexico, Ecuador, and Canada. Not Colombia. Not Venezuela. But you are saying one ass about them. Or you're shooting on the boat. And then you're telling the fisherman, do not go outside of 2 miles out of Trinidad and out of the water. 2 miles. Drug dealers. You're going to have some hard questions. You're going to have hard questions to answer, Miss New Sari. And it's damn time Trinidadians and Tobagonians start asking those questions. Damn time. Anyway, that's a bit there for all you. But that's all you know. Military operations are underway in Trinidad and Tobago. It's not an exercise. Not a training exercise. Military operations are underway in Trinidad and Tobago. And the US government will be seizing control of the base. Wait and see. Anyway, I always tell all, I love all you. Too bad. Bad, too bad, I love all you. Always one people and I know difference. That is their illusion. That is their illusion to divide everybody that we different. But God make all of we. That make all of we family. All of we brother and sister. And the Lord Father say, love your brother and sisters, you love yourself. Because all of we is family. No matter how wayward, you love them. And you pray for them. They can't hold all away. But united, they can't stop we. They do have enough of them. They don't have enough weapons. They can't stop we. They want this war. Not we. We want to live in peace with we brother and sister. We want to go there soon. We want them to come there. We want them to come by we house. And we want to go by their house and lime. And we want peace. We ain't want no war. It goes nowhere. And people go die for nothing. For the greed of a few. Everybody will suffer. And if you feel they ain't gonna touch all you are sadly mistaken. Unless you are in a certain tax bracket, you will be affected. That is their delusion. That is the lie. That is the great deception. That we are different, thus making us all expendable. Remember, together we aspire. Together we achieve. But I promise you, divided, all of we will fall together. All of we. Lord Father, have He plans? We don't know what it is. We could speculate. But at the appropriate time, He will make it known. He will make it known. And He will fix we broken nations. And He will bring it back stronger and better than before. United people. All our brothers and sisters, all are we together as one people, as it should be. Void of all this blasted evil and wickedness in the country and all these nations. Destroying the country, destroying the people. Smile into your face while they stab you. Right in your back and twist it. You'll fix it. But we have to stand together. So God bless all you. God guide all you. God keep all you safe. God grant all your strength, love, and compassion. Till next time, take it easy, Jed.